Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamu alaikum. This lecture is about a poem that is included in the syllabus of third year BA English compulsory. The name of the poem is Leisure and it is written by the poet W. H. Davies. The poem is about nature and the attitude of human beings towards the beauties the nature has to present, and especially the grit of modern life, that how because of the extraordinarily busy routines we are unable to appreciate what nature has to offer. William Henry Davies, the poet, he was born in 1871 and he passed away in 1940. He was a British poet of Welsh descent. That means that he belonged to the place called Wales, that is a county. Davies passed most of his life as a tramp in England and in America. The tramp means that he lived mostly on the roads and in the streets without having a permanent home or a place to rest in at night. In spite of that eccentric lifestyle, he was considered one of the most popular poets of his time. Realism, directness, and simplicity are the main traits of his literary style. Davies writes everything in very simple English. He doesn't use many difficult floral or poetic words, but the impact of that simplicity is sometimes very startling in its beauty and its charm. These are some lines that are written by Hockey, who is a critic and the personal historian of Davies. It is as a poet of nature that Davies has become most famous, and it is not surprising that he should have taken nature as his main project. He had lived close to the earth and in the open air, and had grown to love the countryside with its fields, woods, and streams, its hedges and flowers, its birds and beasts, bees and butterflies, its sunny and cloudy skies, and capricious moods. In short, its infinite variety. Though a man of limited education, here he was at no disadvantage with an intellectual, for appreciation of nature is based not on intellect but on love, and Davies loved nature deeply. He has written an autobiography. This book was very popular as the volume of his poetry. The name of the autobiography is The Autobiography of a Super Tramp, someone who lives in the streets without a home, and such a person knows a lot about nature because he always keeps himself in company of it. Theme of the poem. The poem is a simple and beautiful declaration that human beings are unable to feel the beauty of nature as deeply as it deserves to be appreciated. The poet expresses his regrets that how people are so busy in their daily lives that they simply miss the glory of natural phenomena and changing seasons happening all around them. This is the poem. I shall recite it for you. What is this life if full of care? We have no time to stand and stare, no time to stand beneath the boughs and stare as long as sheep and cows. No time to see when woods we pass, where squirrels hide their nuts in grass. No time to see in broad daylight streams full of stars like skies at night. No time to turn at beauty's glance and watch her feet how they can dance. No time to wait till her mouth can enrich that smile her eyes began. A poor life this, if full of care, we have no time to stand and stare. We will start with the first lines. What is this life if full of care? What is the use of this life? What is the use of living and passing your days one by one if you are always full of care, if you are always in depression, tensions, responsibilities? What sort of life this is, where there is no pleasure, no happiness, no carefree walking around in the woods? We have no time to stand and stare. The poet wants human beings to have some free time at their hands. He wants them to wander around and enjoy the beauty of nature. He wants them to have some moments to stand and simply look at longingly and fully at the beauty that is created all around them by nature. And sometimes we are passing by, we simply don't know what flowers are blossoming, what petals are opening, and what is the color of the sky. No time to stand beneath the boughs and stare as long as sheep and cows. These two lines actually invoke a scene in front of us, a scene where there is a meadow. There is a green place where sheep and cow are mostly found. And also, there are some trees, and their beautiful boughs, their branches are full of lovely, sparkling spring leaves. The poet wants to say that there are so many green places in the world, and animals have the privilege to have time and space at their hands that they can enjoy that beauty. Animals can stand and enjoy the beauty of nature all that they can. But the pride of the creation, human being, has no time to stand anywhere and look at the beauty, to stand beneath a tree and look at the horizon, how lovely, how charming the nature has presented itself to be. No time to see when woods we pass, where squirrels hide their nuts in grass. The poet shows us a beautiful scene here by using his words. He wants us to understand that what is the beauty of the woods. There are many words that are used for a collection of trees: wilds, woods, jungle, forest. But the woods is a specific word that whenever we hear it, there is always a very pleasant, charming, and mysterious effect of this word on our consciousness. The poet says that sometimes we have to go through a jungle or woods. We have to cross it because of some of our obligation. But we do not look around what is happening around us. Little animals are scurrying here and there. They are taking their food with them to their homes. And what a lovely scene it is. It is that the squirrels are taking away the nuts and they are hiding them in the grass to eat in winter. It is such a pretty scene, but sometimes we don't have enough time to watch everything lovely that is happening in a wood. No time to see in broad daylight streams full of stars like skies at night. We don't have enough time. Sometimes there is broad daylight. It means that sunshine is falling directly on earth without any cloud on its way. And the streams, the waterways, the rivers are shining so brightly like the sky at night, shining like the whole galaxy, the stars, and everything is reflected in it, although this is the time of the day. The sparkling water, the water that is flowing from one place to another, is always extremely pretty. All the tourists in the world go to the places where there are waterways. There is ocean, there is a river or a lake or some stream. Mountain streams especially are extremely beautiful to look at. So the poet says that we should have enough time to stand and look at the beauty of the flowing water. Water is shining as if it is in the sky, as if there are stars in the water. No time to turn at beauty's glance and watch her feet how they can dance. The poet here doesn't use the word a girl, a woman, or the beloved. He only uses a personification, beauty. That means that beauty is not only found in the natural objects around us, in the sky, in the trees, woods, and little animals. There is something extremely beautiful about human beings because they are created in the image of God. He says that there is a beautiful person there, and we don't have enough time to turn around, to look at that person, to watch how she or he moves, and what movements bring the beauty of their personality about them. And sometimes we don't have enough time to appreciate human beauty, just as we do not appreciate natural beauty. No time to wait till her mouth can enrich the smile her eyes began. Again, not a specific person, but the poet wants to say that there are some beautiful people in the world, the people we are attracted to. But we don't have enough time to wait, to watch their expressions, what they think about us. We don't give them enough time to express what they think about us. He says we don't have enough time to wait. And there is a smile in her eyes, but we do not see that smile. That smile can only be seen and appreciated fully when it reaches her lips. But until the lips receive that smile, we have turned away because we have no time. And when we turn away, we are doing injustice to ourselves and that person that we are turning away from. A poor life this if full of care. We have no time to stand and stare. He repeats the first lines in a very different way here, that this life would be very poor, not worth living, not worth enjoying, if it is full of care. It is full of troubles, problems, unhappiness. And only this happiness is created if we have time to stand and look at the beauty of nature around us. These are the long questions, the examination questions that you do. These questions are 7.5 marks each. You have to solve 2 questions, so it would be 15 marks total from the area of poetry from your book of verse. Number 1, write down a critical appreciation of the poem The Leisure. In this way, you have to do this question, that you start with the poet and the poem's name, and after that you discuss the theme of the poem, and after that what happens in the poem in detail. What are the things we miss in our daily life according to the poet? Again, it is a sort of summary of the poem. Write down some simple delights of life that we do not appreciate according to the poet. The same thing, both questions are actually the same. You have to write down what happens in the poem, the summary of the poem. Then there is the 4th question. How does the poet use personification in this poem Leisure? And here you discuss that how poet has used the word beauty instead of writing that it is about a woman or a girl he is talking about. And this personification gives the poem a subtle and beautiful quality. Mainly what you have to do from the poem is explanation with reference to the context, because of which you need to read the poem thoroughly, and you should know the name of the poet and name of the poem as well. You should know the name of the poet with exact dots and all the spellings intact. If you write one spelling wrong, your name would be considered wrong. So the first thing is that you do in explanation is reference. In reference, you write the name of the poem and the poet. These lines have been taken from the poem dash dash dash, and the name of the poet is this. Name of the poem should be in the capital letters. That means that the first letter of the word should be capital, and the poet's name also should be in the capital letters. Again, the first letter of the name, first name, and the second name should be capital. These are the things because of which when you write one line, that one line would be worth 2 marks. Then there is context, what happens in the poem before and after the lines given in examination paper. You have to tell that what happened before these lines. For example, if you get the lines about the beauty's glass, you will tell what the poet has written about the same topic earlier in the lines. And after that you will discuss that what happened in the later lines from the lines that are in your examination paper. Then there is the explanation, the lines fully explained in a paragraph. In the very middle you have to write the explanation of the poem. The lines should be explained in simpler English, and it should be like a critical appreciation that you have already prepared in the longer questions. This question is usually question number 1 in your paper, and there are 5 parts, out of which the 3 you have to attempt, and from these 3 you get 5 marks each for a part, and after that it will turn out to be 15 in total. Thanks for watching. Best